Welcome to episode 24 of Uncovering the Corners of the World podcast. I'm your host, Karina Kasmala. Using research and my personal experiences where I actually set foot in some of these places, I'll be describing some of the unknown attractions in both the US and around the world. We're back in Alaska this week, but we're driving away from Juneau, where we ended last week's episode, and driving to Anchorage, Haines, and Juneau in Alaska. It's claimed that Alaska was discovered in 1728 by Danish explorer Vitrus Bering with George Steller after they landed on the nearby islands of Alaska, Kayak Island. While in 1784, on another of Alaska's islands, Kodiak Island was where the first Russians settled in. Alaska borders Canada and is about 55 miles away from Russia. State capital today is Juneau, but before the 1900s, it was Sitka, the city where gold was discovered in 1872. We're off to the races this week in Anchorage, Alaska, to witness a crazy race of outhouses, the race of porta potties or portable toilets. Teams build their own portable toilets and participate in the traditional or unlimited class, depending on the size of their outhouses. They can build their outhouses to be 30 feet long by 30 feet wide, or 12 feet long by 8 feet wide. The teams then race their portable toilets around a course, having one member sit on the toilet, while the other members of the team are required to push the portable toilet. The designs of these portable toilets have no limits. There have been the simple porta potty on skis, to a chicken coop outhouse made by the Arctic Chicken Coops, and the members of that team wear chicken pajama onesies or one-piece pajamas while racing. There are even the simpler designs of a 5-gallon plastic bucket on skis. The race is determined by a tournament bracket system where members compete against each other until they reach the final bracket. The first and second place prize for winning the race is a trophy with a roll of toilet paper. Other categories in the race include the best themed outhouse, most realistic, best engineered, the cleanest, while the slowest team is given the Red Lantern Award. The initial purpose of this race was to raise money for Habit for Humanity, having participants pay a fee in order to race. The creators of the race was the University of Alaska's Architectural and Engineering Club, which started the race in 2006. This event is just one of the Fur Rendezvous or Fur Rondi Weeks, 2 weeks in Alaska, originally started in 1935, a winter festival that was started by a man named Fern Johnson and his friends. Other events during the Fur Rendezvous Winter Festival Week include a carnival, the World Championship Sled Dog Race, and the Grand Parade, among other activities. The World Championship Sled Dog Race is where a team of dogs and their driver of the dog sled team, or mushers, drive their teams on a 25-mile loop. The original race was started in 1935, and in 1946 it was included in the Fur Rondi Week of events, after a man named Earl Norris of Willow arranged the race to be 17.5 miles, racing against 2 other participant dog sled teams. For our next stop, we drive away from Anchorage, Alaska to Juneau, Alaska, specifically to the Glacier Gardens Rainforest Adventure at 7600 Glacier Highway. Located amid the Tongass National Forest on the southeastern side of Alaska, is a 50-acre or more botanic garden where the trees grow upside down. The trunk of the tree is flipped, and that allows you to see the roots of the tree above ground, covered with leaves. The Glacier Gardens Rainforest Adventure was founded by Steve and Cindy Bohe in 1998. These trees were Steve's idea, flipping the hemlock or spruce tree upside down and burying them 5 to 7 feet deep in the ground. To see these trees, visitors take guided tours throughout the national forest, driving above sea level at 580 feet to see the city of Juneau in full view, along with the bald eagles that fly throughout the park. The Glacier Gardens Rainforest Adventure also sells plants at their Yard Doctor Nursery. The Glacier Gardens Rainforest Adventure is open from May to September. Also located in the Tongass National Forest is our last stop, to 108 Main Street in Haines, Alaska, to see a giant hammer outside of the world's first museum of hammers. The founder of the Hammer Museum is Dave Fall, with his wife, Carol Fall. Dave Fall was a blacksmith who enjoyed collecting hammers and other tools. The museum first opened its doors in 2002. After a year earlier, Dave Fall bought a 100-year-old building in Haines, Alaska. Standing outside of the museum is a 19.8-foot claw hammer handle, made out of spruce log, styrofoam, and fiberglass, built in 2007. Take a step inside the museum and you'll see a collection of at least 10,000 hammers hanging on the walls. One of the hammers in the museum is claimed to have been used to build the Pyramid of Menkaure, the third pyramid of Giza, dating back to 2500 BC. The hammer was donated by Dr. Ken Ostrand, an archaeologist. Another hammer in the museum is the Turkish chewing taffy hammer, a metal rod bent in to create an oval. This hammer was made by Schwartz & Son, Newark, New Jersey manufacturers. The Turkish chewing taffy was also made by Schwartz & Son from 1915 until 1936. The hammer was used to break the long bars of taffy. The hammers are arranged in the museum by collections, including the David Maydole collection, along with the not your typical hardware store hammers. For more information on any of these places or events that I talked about on this week's episode, check out furrondi.net and Road Trippers magazine for outhouse races in Alaska. For more information about the upside down trees, can be found on the alaska.org website, and Alaska's Unreal Upside Down Forest that's hiding in plain sight article, as well as on the USDA Forest Service website. Lastly, for more info on the Hammer Museum, visit hammermuseum.org. There's also the alaskacenter.gov website for other interesting facts about Alaska. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. As the holidays are getting closer, be on the lookout for a special holiday episode where I will be sharing holiday-themed attractions around the U.S.